Did you know, Kyle, that cola, imbibed at 8 o'clock in the morning, has magical properties? I can almost feel my fingers again.
I know. It's what keeps me up, and it's the only thing that keeps me going anymore. I'm actually operating on sugar. If I stop taking it, I'm pretty sure I'll die too.
I think it is vastly superior to the caffeine, in my opinion, and far more addictive.
Coca-Cola has sugar and caffeine in it, you muppet. It's a double whammy.
But on different and some might argue far less important news, elven armor can be crafted with remarkably little preparations and time. In fact, it takes literal days.
You know, for me it was a mere scene transition, but I suppose we could give them, the benefit that it might have taken a day.
Maybe.
And not only that, but they made it to the exact specifications of the armor that she wore before. Like, it's Galadriel's armor is impressive. Like, she described it well to the smiths. Like, it's made out of styrofoam. It's not, very durable, but this is what it looks like.
So, Galadriel is in Numenor. She hasn't brought her armor because she fucking swam to Numenor. Yeah, here she is carry that water. In her armor. Exactly like in the first episode. Alrighty then. Now, this might simply be just retardation. The showrunners didn't care over much, and so they were like, well, we need her in her armor now, so let's just do that. But they did the same goddamn thing to Diversity Hire Elf 2. He, too, has rediscovered his armor, rather magically. Like, they made the same fuck-up twice.
Rather remarkable, if you ask me. Oh, and another character, the guy who's what's his name, Herodin something. He's like a king of that land. Notice how his armor as well was different and culturally different than the Numenorians.
Yeah,
there's that's a bit suspicious.
Only Halbrand. Only Halbrand was given brown armor. Everybody else got white. Is that like a commentary? Like, foreigner, you get brown. What? Why?
This is cheap. We get beautiful, sort of marbly white looking armor.
Well, the reason why he gets brown armor is to make him visually distinct from the other nobodies. That's why. It's not a reason that you should be putting into a TV show that you should have given two shits about, but details. But
here we are.
Okay, overall storyline today. This was another episode that feels just fine, like it's mediocre television. My main problem is it is written as if an entirely different story has gone before it. And maybe that's the reason for the armor as well. They didn't bother rewriting it. Or maybe it was shot in like a weird sequence or something. Because all of the elves' wounds, too, have just magically disappeared from his face. Maybe Adar wasn't even a part of their show at this point. And
yeah, it feels weird
Galadriel,
when it comes to the scenes, armor, and wounds.
Galadriel has a little talk with Halbrand, or I think that was his name. And it's like, why are you fighting, Galadriel? Why are you such an angry bitch? And he was like, I don't even know, but I am. I'm like, okay, that's character development for you, but at least it was something.
That'd be great reasoning.
She had a moment there where she's like, I fear that I'm becoming the enemy I'm hunting, which is okay, you know what? I like that. It's just a problem that you never set this up in any way, shape, or form. At all.
Yep, and the other issue is she's not very Galadriel. Like, this would be fine for another character that isn't Galadriel.
That had another story, like, 'cause that's the thing too. Okay, so she's got basically PTSD, basically, right? Why? She didn't fight in the war. She's at most, she's been having the occasional skirmish with the shattered remnants of a goblin army, and she killed a troll whilst being yeeted through the air. And it wasn't even a challenge. It wasn't like he struggled with it. Like, oh, I have PTSD of that time I single-handedly slaughtered that troll. Like, it was absolutely nothing. There is no reason for her to be like, all I know is war. No, it's not.
I feel like more realistic, all she knows, based on what the show's shown us, is that she's just randomly waddling around looking for Sauron. Rather than war. Maybe she's just seen too much traveling stuff, you know?
Maybe she's
traveled too long.
Just actually a psychopath. Like, that's the best explanation. Like, why are you fighting? I don't know, I just have to. Okay, so you're actually a psychopath.
You're insane. You're actually insane. Like, you want to fight for the sake of fighting. Like, yeah, basically that's my logic. So, you don't want to stop Sauron because he's evil or anything? No, I just want to kill. It's like, oh.
I'm just really desperate to feel the warm blood of my enemies once more.
Really like killing, honestly. Don't care who. It's like, lady, calm down.
But people looked weird at me when I killed elves, so I try to find orcs, but there's so few of them.
I gotta try something new, something different.
I wonder if there's any tales of prolific serial killers back in Noldor.
Well, I have a feeling this show is about to show us one in Numenor very soon.
But okay, that was a scene, and it was, again, like, I feel like, okay, right, we were watching this with Dev and people whose names now suddenly escape me completely.
Medzi, oh gosh, new person. I'm terrible with names, new people. Hold on, I wrote it down. Tarfar, no, Turfer, no.
Farfar, we'll go with that, I guess.
Taftage. It's not a name I can remember easily, okay?
Listen, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna skip on some names here. Be glad half the time I called Dev Kyle anyways.
Racism.
But
whatever.
They point out, like, this was a really good scene. I'm kind of sitting there like, for another character, maybe.
Yeah.
But even Galadriel has no setup for this. Like, her reason for being a war-crazed crazy woman is because she's a war-crazed crazy woman? What? Seems circular.
Seems, yeah, it's like, I just want to keep fighting so that I keep fighting. It's like,
Alright.
Your motivations are skewed.
And scary.
I thought it would have been, because she did allude to that it was partially related to her brother.
No, she refused that. That was the thing, because that's the only reason the show has given us, because, you know, she saw the brother was dead, and she was like, I'll take up his sword. Okay, so revenge. And Halbrand goes like, so it's all for revenge? She goes, no, I just fight because I fight. It's not a motivation.
I can't stop fighting. It's like, you can't stop fighting. Like, oh, that's, it just, like, a part of me goes like, they should have worded it different. Like, I can't stop fighting. Like, that just feels wrong from a narrative standpoint. It's like, I can't stop fighting because I fight.
It's like, okay.
You can't, okay.
At this point, what's the difference between Galadriel and Sauron? Like, Sauron has a more well-defined goal for what he's doing. At least he has a rationale and a reason. Meanwhile, Galadriel is just like, worm pumping blood.
Sauron's trying to, like, reshape Middle-earth into what he thinks is a better vision. And Galadriel's like, I think that just killing people is the good thing. And it's like, lady, you have problems, and you need to seek out help immediately.
Galadriel, what's your platform? Brutal murder.
I think we should round up all the orcs and kill them. Oh, no.
Galadriel's official political platform. What's your party line? Find all the foreigners, and then kill them. Alrighty then, Galadriel.
Without mercy. Continue to do it repeat until none of them are left. Oh, wow. Dedicated, if nothing else.
We had a bit of the Harfoots today as well, but mercifully brief, where Sauron shows off his magical smacky-dabby powers a couple of times, which is neato cheeto. Eminem showed up for 5 seconds to tell us that this is indeed Sauron, because he touches the burnt ground and goes like, yes, Sauron-y.
See, I could still see them do something really dumb with a double fucking fake out here, where it's like, actually they're trying to hunt down and stop.
Yeah,
like you can tell because the writing isn't good. It could be what they're going for.
That's the problem. Dev mentioned that this is the mystery box form of writing, where you throw out things and then you go, but actually, and they make up some completely absurd bullshit. So, Diversity Higher Elf is in the tower with his armor, brand new armor, and they get shown the sword, and he's like, it's a key. How the fuck did you guess this? And he shows like a mural The mural doesn't show it's a key. The mural just shows a dude holding a sword, and he's like, it's a key.
The key, and then the other people are like, oh my god, it means that we're bound to be evil no matter what. Like, okay, you're bound to be evil no matter what. Like, what? Show, are you sure you're feeling okay?
This doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Is it the key to the people? The sword's the key to... It's dumb sword. Like, it feels like they're like, this sword is like their rings. No, this is not how this functions.
It's a powerful sword, Arch. Don't you understand? It uses blood. It's evil.
Oh, and blood too. Okay, so Mithril, the elves, elves need to shoot Mithril now. Like, Mithril is elven crack now, and if they don't get their fix, they're all just gonna have to die out, which is not how Mithril works. And I love how Durin just kind of accepts this at face value. Like, Elrond's like, so Durin, we're gonna have to get all of your Mithril, and we need to just fucking mainline that shit. And he's just like, well, if you say so.
They're a bit vague on it, because they're like, we need to bless you in the light of it, or touch you in the light of it in order to rejuvenate the elves. And, well, that is dumb, and the Mithril thing is incredibly random and incredibly stupid. The one thing I liked about the whole scene is, they have it be this test with Elrond. This is the one thing I'll give them. Where Elrond's being tested, like, oh, you gotta break your oath or we're all gonna die out.
Yeah.
And instead of it doing, like, the boring old Game of Thrones trope of backstabbery, I was pleasantly surprised when he was like, I'm just gonna tell him the truth.
Yeah,
and he tells him the truth.
Like,
and I'm like, wow, that's nice for a change.
Again, whilst parts of the show has gotten better, like, I don't hate the Galadriel Halbrand stuff completely. It's still not something I would choose to watch, but it's okay. But Elrond and Durin are actually by far the best and most enjoyable part. Particularly, Durin puts on a display of what I may only describe as strong jewelry here.
It is incredible.
It is so good. So, okay, I am sickened by the fact that they make Gil-galad out to be the bad guy, because Gil-galad is not the bad guy. Gil-galad is goddamn awesome, but they're sitting at dinner, and Gil-galad is trying to pry him on the Mithril, like, did you find any magical shiny metals recently? And Durin's like, hold on, that's a bit suspicious. Let me divert you here with some magic. And he just looks down at the table and goes like, this table, these rocks only grow at a certain depth, you see. Very sacred to my people. Sacred. And so Gil-galad, well, we're just gonna have to send it home with you then. I'll have 6 elves I particularly dislike carry it all the way home. You mentioned the Gil-galad thing. Like, Gil-galad is a very Chad lad. Like, if you know it, like, he is one of the broest and biggest and strongest, like, elven king dudes. And this show does him dirty. It makes him out to be just a bad guy or a little Weasley bad guy at every opportunity. And it fucking irks me to no end. It's like, really? I feel like the writers hate Gil-galad or something. No, somebody I could see doing this little roundabout schemey thing would actually be Galadriel. In her actual form. Might do something like this. Send Elrond to try and sniff out the actual truth, maybe.
But that seems Galadriel-like.
Yeah,
not
Gil-galad. I'd expect to just fucking show up on their door and be like, so, any shiny rocks around? We need that crack.
Need it bad, by the way. Gonna die if you don't give me the crack.
Yeah, literally, like, our species are just gonna end if you don't give us shiny rocks.
I do like how they play off the scene between Elrond and Durin. He's like, all elves, like, Durin looks at him like, all elves will perish, and it's up to me to save you. And he looks at him with this smug smile, and everyone's like, you're a fucking asshole.
That scene was good too. Again, if only Elrond was... I don't like Elrond, the guy who plays Elrond. Like, he's okay. Like, he's no diversity hire. You know, he's not that bad by any stretch of the imagination, but just... The chemistry between him and Durin it's all right, but it could be so much more.
I'm not sure if it's necessarily the actor Elrond's fault here, or it's the directing, because when I see Elrond act and the guy who plays him, like, he does a pretty damn good job when he and sometimes he starts really swinging, but there's some scenes where it feels like it's a little awkward, and I'm not really thinking it's him. I'm thinking that it's the direction or whatever. Like some of the people pulling the strings behind the doors, so to speak, because it just feels like there's something holding him back sometimes, or that he's holding back. Because he has performed well in this show, but he does it sporadically, which is a little annoying, because he can do better.
Like, the buddy scenes just... They feel like they're at 90%. And they're
close.
Yeah, it could be more.
Yes. If you're gonna watch the show, you'd watch it for fucking Elrond and Durin. Like, those scenes are the only scenes worth watching. If there's ever gonna be a super cut of the show with just them in it, like, that would probably be the preferable way to watch this thing.
That would be better. Meanwhile, Aragorn is still on Numenor, and he's being the reluctant king. And Galadriel's just gonna be like, "You're gonna be king." He's like, "We don't want to." No, you're gonna be king.
I need you to die in my wars.
And eventually, he agrees to be king. You know, he's like, "Okay, fine, Galadriel, I'll be fucking king then."
I guess I'll go die in your wars.
There was also a hilarious little sabotage scenes where they set some oil on fire, and it caused like a massive main ammo detonation that even spread to a nearby ship that also exploded.
Like, I didn't know that the Numenoreans had black powder on their ships, but damn! Like, what are those for?
Some hefty oil.
They've got some really explosive, like, oil below decks on the ships that create massive ship explosions, catastrophic. Like, we're talking like man-of-war ammunition detonation sort of thing. Like, the stocks go up, the ship just blows to pieces and splinters.
It does. It explodes. And hey, they decide to set sail anyways. Right. You know, the mighty fleet of Numenor. 3 boats.
Yeah, that's really dumb. It's like Numenoreans. They're like, we rule the waves. And it's like, we have like 5 boats. 2 of them blow up. Like, we have 3.
We're gonna rescue Middle Earth. Oh, cool. You bringing an army? You bringing a goddamn army? Yeah, like 300 dudes.
Less than 500 men, because it was originally gonna be 500, 100 men per boat. Now it's 300. They're bringing 300 Numenorean Spartans.
Like, this'll win the war.
This will mildly tickle an outpost.
It's silly.
God forbid you take any casualties.
Like 300 dudes. Like, it's so weird. I don't even know. Oh, God. Maybe they'll arrive just in time or something to save Diversity Hire and his friends.
I feel like, oh my God. Oh, Diversity Hire and his friends. Don't get me started. Basically, we got, what did Dev call it? Discount fucking... No, I think I called it discount fucking Helm's Deep. No, Helm's Deep. We got fucking Helm's Deep 2.0. But this one's like off-brand Helm's Deep. It's very bad.
Also, okay. Another thing I would say about the whole mystery box thing. I really dislike this kind of writing. Because rarely, if ever, does it actually have any sort of logic to it. It instead is simply just like, aha! And then this thing. Like, it reminds me of Raised by Wolves, which was this recent kind of Aliens-style show, or by the Aliens writers or something, or with some androids. And every single bit of that show is just like, aha, but what if we made this shit up? And it's just make-up shit after make-up shit, where you have no frame of reference for any of this, you have no way to guess or intuit any of this. It's just like, aha. Now, but you see, the mummy android was actually a super weapon developed by the humans to wipe out humanity.
It's the problem with a lot of writers where they get caught up in twists and bends and turns, and the idea is to surprise the audience, keep them on their toes. But the thing is, in my opinion as a writer, one thing that you should probably do is, yeah, you should have secrets and surprises, but you shouldn't go out of your way to try to make it obtuse, because you just come off as being like a bit of a prick, and everything doesn't line up. Like, somebody smart is going to figure out your plot twist. That's okay. That's good. That means they were paying attention. You put, seeds down there so they could actually pick up on it. Great job. But everybody's like, no, I gotta have like a weird like red wedding style thing where it just happens because it happens and it's so random, lol. It's like, okay, all right, show.
See, the red wedding I hated for the exact opposite reason, because it was telegraphed so ridiculously heavily. There was no reason why the characters themselves couldn't go like, this is a bit fucking sus.
That's not the best example.
Like, even the wolf is like, wolf, shut that wolf up. He never acts like this.
He never acts like this.
I love that part. Like, the dog's just freaking the fuck out. He goes, I know they're traitors. I know they're traitors. And dog's owner's just like, dog, you're embarrassing me.
I'm trying to get married with this random broad.
I kind of wish the dog would just shut up and look at him at that point. Like, bitch, get stabbed. Look if I care.
Like, dumb shows. But either way.
Like, this was another one of those, like, this is a show. This has turned into a TV show now that I would at least give, like, a 5 or a 6 out of a 10. It shouldn't have taken 4 or 5 hours to get here, but okay, at least I didn't hate this episode that much. It wasn't painfully boring. It still has... The characters don't feel like they are where they should be. And their plotlines don't seem to match up with the characters they have actually presented, which annoys me the most of all. Like Galadriel suddenly being like, I'm a war-scarred veteran. No, you're not. We haven't seen this goddamn story.
Yeah. It would be nice if they... That's the problem with the fact that they're just running so many storylines at the same time. It does... And that's one thing I noticed this episode. While things did happen... I was kind of like, anytime we got settled in a place with some characters, then we're getting some progression. It then transitions into the next like storyline, and I'm like, oh, like I was just getting settled in with what was going on.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we're doing the diversity hire in the humans now. Okay, cool, let's do that. And then it's like, nope. Back to Numenor. Okay, we're doing Numenor now. Ships exploding. All right, we're doing Numenor. Oh, back to diversity hire.
Doing just complete, like, it's okay to bounce between the two, but let them be like, let the chunks be longer. Like, it feels too jumpy back and forthy, way too quick. Getting on my nerves.
Maybe we could just skip all of the other stories and just do more Durin. That'd be nice.
So like Durin and Elrond, like everyone else, sorry.
I do hate the traveling there, though. Fuck me. I hate it so much. Okay.
It's just a screen transition away.
Durin's made it all the way to the Elven City, which is, again, God only knows how long. There's still no sign of a horse or a carriage or any mode of transportation at all.
They're just walking. They're just walking there. That is present. That is evident by the fact that they literally 2 dwarves help escort the elves, like 6 elves carrying the table back.
Yeah, like
to Durin's place. Like they're literally neighbors.
The son of the king traveled there with 2 dudes with their little retarded pop-up helmets.
Oh my god, their helmets are adorable. So like their helmets like randomly like chink, and they open up. I don't know how that's controlled, by the way. But there must be some advanced. Yeah, it's some sort of advanced tongue mechanism in there that they tongue, and then it opens their little face plates to reveal their face, and they're like with their fat little stupid dwarf faces. Those helmets are fucking adorable. They're not imposing, they're not cool, they're just kind of cute.
It's definitely the tongue. But I think it's just stupid at this point. And goddamn, Elrond must be sick of walking that road. God, I bet they've worn, like, there wasn't a road there before, but now there is one. Paved and everything. In the supercut version, there just needs to be a meme, like, running cut each time they travel.
Or something to make it look like they're actually traveling.
Just the show suddenly stops and you get cuts from the Lord of the Rings of Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli running. You superimpose Durin's face over Gimli, like, dwarves are very dangerous sprinters.
Oh my god. Short distance. We're very dangerous in short distances.
There you go. That's the thing. if I were to describe the things I hated about this show the most, it would be, one, the fact that it goes out of its way to screw over Tolkien's legacy, with the beardless dwarf and the short cropped hair elf. But second to that, and for a non-law complaint, it is just the thorough lack of attention to details. The armor, for example. They don't have their armor anymore, yet in this episode, both Galadriel and Diversity Hire both have their armor again.
The same armor, mind you, as well. And designs. Like, Galadriel's even worse, because, like, okay, maybe you could argue in the tower that he had an identical set that had a broken part in the chest piece at the same spot. Not possible, but whatever. But Galadriel has the same weird breastplate with random bits of chainmail scattered across it in the same spots.
It's
like
dumb.
No, that's not. They didn't. The Numenoreans didn't make that. Like, the show writers just don't care. It's like it's in her inventory, like it's some sort of bad role-playing game, you know? It's like, I just put this in my pocket.
Yep, lack of attention to detail, and the constant traveling is another beautiful example of that. Like, just put in a horse and a cart, especially when you're carrying a solid stone table back home. Like, it's not difficult, at least just give them a horse and a goddamn cart, something.
The fact that there's 6 dudes just carrying it and it shows them struggling with it, and they're not even outside of like the city perimeter of Linden. That's gonna be broken.
That's gonna go poorly, is what that's gonna do. It's gonna go very, very, very poorly. And you know, half of me can almost see it being done by Durin on purpose as a fuck you. It's like, but that would be funny. Galadriel goes like, "We prepared our finest horse and carriage for you, Master Dwarf," and Durin goes like, Horses are savages. Yes, they insult my people. I insist you carry it.
It would honor my ancestors if you carried it back.
Yes.
You'd be like, oh, fuck.
My ancestors would appreciate it if you carried it all the way.
It's like, I'm gonna pick 6 of my least favorite elves to go fucking do this.
And Galadriel could go down a line of elves and go like, all right then. Which one of you have deserved a punishment? It's stupid.
Well, yeah, no, the table thing was a funny gag, but it was stupid that they just sort of like. It's also kind of stupid that the elves actually are just carrying it back. That's so dumb.
But yes, 5 hours in now. We're halfway through the Rings of Power, and the meh continues.
At least it's actually kind of amusing now. Not in a particularly the best of ways. Not in the way the show wants to be amusing, but we have found our own amusement.
Like, oh, Legolas there, you're slanting a little bit. Pick up the pace, lad.
Pick up the pace, laddie.